Hello and welcome back to Centex Primetime. I am your host, Jalen Gillis, here on this Monday afternoon to take you through the primetime topics in sports, not just here in the Central Texas area, but from all around the nation. We want to thank everybody for tuning in with us here. The end of the month, we had a hiatus here in July, doing a lot of different work. Got a chance to go to Big 12 Media Day. We'll talk about that. I got a chance to also work a couple of conferences as well. But we're back, and football season is right around the corner, folks, and I cannot wait as we got plenty to talk about. NFL training camp is back in action. We've even had NBA news going on. The MLB getting closer and closer to October to where they get to the playoffs as well. So it's a great time of year to be a sports fan. And, folks, we got plenty to talk you through here today on the show. We're going to talk a little bit of Deion Sanders and his health updates that we got from him today. We'll talk about his son Shedur in Browns camp, what's been going on there. We'll talk about some other stuff in NFL training camp. We'll talk about this recruiting class that Baylor has been able to put together that's becoming one of their best recruiting class, if not their best recruiting class in school history in the class of 26. We'll also talk some more local sports topics. So a lot to dive into here today on Centex Primetime, and we are very glad to be back here in studio to bring these topics to you guys. Joining me here in studio, we've got familiar face and the man that also joined me at Big 12 Media Day, Mr. Rocky Miller, in the building with us. Rocky, what's going on?
Hey, man, what's going on, Jalen? You know it's always good to be here. I'm here on a Monday. Whatever day I can get in here on the show is always a good day, man. And it's been a lot going on in sports. We kicked the month off pretty much early in the month. We got a chance to go to Big 12 Media Day. Mm-hmm. That was a tremendous experience to go down in the I guess the Star.
Yeah,
the
Star.
And we met anywhere from we met Neely, we met Rick George, we met so many different people while there. Met some really cool players, whether from Baylor and also from a couple guys from Texas Tech and the guys from Colorado. It was a really good. Hey, and if you guys hadn't seen those interviews, I strongly recommend you go to Centex Sports Network and check out those interviews because there was some really great information that we were able to get out of those guys. We kind of interview in a different fashion. You know, we got our own flavor and our own kind of seasoning we put on it. That's a little different than the way anybody else. But we got some great content out of it. When the interview by Rick George, Deion Sanders' AD, we sat down and he gave us just pretty much as much time as we needed, and we sat down and had a great conversation with him.
Yes.
And so, and as we get into that conversation about what the information Deion revealed today, man, we see how resilient Deion is, but we also see a AD that is in full support of Deion, and that must really make you feel good as a guy that was going through a really serious health situation. To have a guy like Rick George in your corner, man, it must it's imperative. Like he's all 100% behind Deion, and I'm 100%. Sure that gave Deion a great, gave him the comfort he needed so he could just recover and heal and didn't have to worry about being replaced or being second-guessed about whether or not he would be able to come back.
Yeah, I think that's a phenomenal interview. The Rick George interview will be coming out this week. I've been planning out when to drop these certain interviews and different pieces in there. We're planning on doing the Rick George one a little bit later, but in lieu of the news, I definitely felt like, because you guys need to see, just like Rocky said, the support that Rick George has for Deion and the relationship that those two have is a really, really great one. And I don't know if it's been talked about enough, the relationship between the athletic director, Rick George, and Coach Deion Sanders. So we're dropping that interview this week as well, along with the Roe Parrish interview, who also talked a lot about Deion. Him and Rocky brought up a topic that we've talked about multiple times on the show of Deion Sanders being possibly the greatest sports story just within himself. And now within
seeing added more to it.
Yeah, just adding more and more to it. He said, I can get through anything. He said, I got 8 toes and pieces of both legs having to be cut out. So he said he can get through anything. I want to dive right into what we were just talking about there, Rocky, and Coach Prime and his health update. He came out today in a press conference that a lot of people were having speculation about of he's going to come out and retire today. He said he's got an impromptu press conference on Monday. He's going to retire. He's not retiring, but he did give us an update on what was going on with his health. He was been battling cancer that he had to go in and get surgery and a tumor removed out of his bladder. He had bladder cancer, and the surgery was reportedly successful. He is now cancer-free within his bladder. Obviously, still a long road to recovery on what he's got to be able to do, but he said he is ready to be coaching this year. He's ready to be full 100% with his team. And to keep this under wraps the way that they did and allowing it to come out on their own time, controlling their own narrative, once again, Deion and his team giving all of us in media a masterclass on how to control the narrative. They were able to keep this a secret. He said even from his own sons that are in the NFL, they thought he was going in to have work done on his leg instead of having surgery for bladder cancer. His son Bucky was there with him along the whole time. He documented, I'm sure, the whole journey. He's already released a small snippet of some of the journey they've had so far. But, man, what an incredible story, like Rocky said, just adding to his already incredible story. But to now say he is cancer-free and ready to get back to coaching, man, that just means a lot. And it's great to see Coach Sanders back in great health and back feeling good and looking good, as he likes to say. Rocky, what did you think when you saw the news this morning on the press conference?
Well, I had, I was pretty certain because we got a chance to see him in media day up close and personal.
Yep.
I had no, a lot of people were saying that he was going to retire, step down, all this kind of stuff. I had no concern about that.
Yeah.
He didn't, because at media day, if a guy's going to go through that gauntlet and present the way he presented, he's not, you kind of felt like he didn't have any quit in him. I'll just put it like that.
Absolutely.
And so I didn't think with that. But I saw a clip on Bucky that Bucky spoke, and Bucky said he was they was just kind of reveal what actually he went through and what was going on with him, and so I did get a chance to sit and listen today. Spent my lunch at work, listening to Deion's interview. And it was revealing, it was touching, it was funny, it was inspiring. It was Deion.
Yeah.
It was in that moment I saw the confident man that even 30 years ago, he was the same confident man that 30 plus years ago said, I'm glad Cleveland didn't draft me because they'd have to put me on layaway. He was the same guy after facing a cancer circumstance and situation that has him currently in a situation where he can't control his bladder. And he said today, I have to depend on the pens. And so a guy with that kind of unshaking, unwavering confidence and belief in God and himself, man, I think we kind of get Deion mixed up sometimes because here's what I say, Jalen. It's one thing to be a 22-year-old snot-nosed superstar athlete and have the bravado, have the pride and the arrogance that he has in that situation when everybody's bidding for your services and doing that. But today, we saw a man that had his bladder removed, that had to have his bladder reconstructed, that his life was threatened by the existence of cancer inside his body, and yet and still, he was still able to perform and do an interview and be inspiring, be confident, be authentic, revealing, all at the same time, and still maintain that certain je ne sais quoi that is Coach Prime.
Yeah.
And so what now I'm realizing is what people may have thought was an act all these years, right? A lot of that primetime persona is wrapped up in the belief that he has for himself and in his belief that he has in God. Because this is the same guy that delivered his mom from poverty.
Yes.
That's the same guy that played professional baseball and professional football.
At the same time.
The same guy that was unquestioned, in my opinion, the best cornerback to ever play the game.
Absolutely.
The same guy that would go on to be a tremendous broadcaster, which is the same guy that would go from being a high school coach, a high school offensive coordinator, to be a HBCU head coach. The same guy that would dare to win 2 SWAC championships and also be a black coach that would be hired, the first black coach hired at a Power 5 school, and the same coach that would turn a 1-10 team to have a 9-4 season. The same guy that would tell you that a kid who trusted him and came to a HBCU after he was the number one recruit in the nation, the same guy he told you that would win the Heisman and who would later have a son that I believe, as he's on his journey, that's on his way to becoming a starting quarterback in the NFL. Like, this is the same guy that did all those things that I just spoke of, and having this particular health scare, this particular circumstance, this particular situation, this particular situation with his health. Mm-hmm. The same guy stood up there today and explained to us what happened. Alongside him was look what it was. I believe it to be the school doctor and his oncologist that kind of orchestrated the cure for cancer. He stood alongside those guys and explained to us in great detail what went down to do. And he's the same guy that encouraged men, particularly black men, and everybody for that matter, to go get checked out.
Absolutely. So
that you cannot fall victim to the C word, as many have. Yeah. So many have before. And so I just, man, to be in that situation and face people with that circumstance and have that kind of authenticity and be open with us about what went on, and to almost joke about having a porta potty right next to him and all those kinds of things, man. Like I say, you know, I mean, as you guys can probably see, is that he impressed me. I thought I had seen everything that Deion could do, and again, he impressed me once again by the way he dealt with this situation and in the class, dignity, and courage that he showed today. So I just think it's tremendous, man. It's I've said it many times. It's the greatest sports story in American history. Mm-hmm. I don't think anything compares. When you aggregate all that, he's been the primary star player in all of this, from player to coach, now cancer survivor, and it's turned into a human story that so many can relate to. And I think if it had not transcended sports at this point, it's soon to transcend sports, and he becomes, you know, almost like you know, if he told me he was gonna run for president and win, I'd have to believe.
Could we believe anything different based off?
He just wins.
Somebody that won the last 2 out of 3 presidential debates. I wouldn't be shocked at that at all, man. You hit the nail on the head, Deion. This is just honestly taking the lure, the aura of Deion Sanders to another level. Now you add cancer survivor on top of that, and a guy that is confident about this team. In that interview we spoke about a little bit earlier with Uncle Neely, he said this Colorado team could be better than the Colorado team from last year. We're talking about a guy that can continue to break molds and break barriers in Deion Sanders and the things he's had to go through. Just adds to it.
Yeah, and we were wondering, you got to understand, we interviewed both Neely and Rick George prior to Deion appearing in Big 12 Media Day.
Last interview that day.
And we were encouraged by, and I told you after that day, I said, those guys are so upbeat. I don't know how serious it is, but it must be. He must have it licked, because those guys they want to go. And I see what happened. Both of those guys had recently met with Deion, and they were probably feeding off the energy and the confidence that he had. Because both of those guys, Uncle Neely and Rick George, were locked and loaded, and they didn't. Even though we didn't ask them about and we were very respectful about that.
Yes.
We didn't ask them about Deion, neither one of them, about Deion's health situation. We didn't think it was our place.
Yeah.
I think the respectful thing was to let that play out. However, Deion and his family wanted it to play out, so that's why we didn't ask those kind of questions.
Yes.
But those guys were on go, locked and loaded, and have full confidence not only in Deion, but in the guys that Deion, the coaches and staff, and also the players that have been recruited. So they're expecting big things over in Boulder for sure.
They're definitely expecting big things. Now I'm expecting even bigger things after seeing the press conference today, man, and to see the things that Deion had to go through and how they kept it under wraps the last couple of months. I just watched his interview that they released with him and Michael Irvin, and he was telling Michael Irvin how he knew about this and knew that he was about to come up for his surgery to get the cancer removed while the draft was happening at his house. And people, he's like some of those clips and that you see of Deion's face. Everybody thinks he's upset or sad about his son not getting drafted. He said, I'm thinking about a surgery that I have to have in 2 weeks that nobody knows about outside of maybe Bucky and his medical professionals. Nobody, even including his own sons, don't even know about this deal. To see him be able to withstand that, to go through that, come out better on the other side, man, I don't know how you can have. If you can buy stock in Colorado, this is the time to buy is right now because their stock is rising.
Oh yeah, I mean it's through the roof, man.
Yeah,
it's through the roof.
It is.
When you look at and again, this is a human story at this point.
Yes.
This is not necessarily a sports story. When you talk about a man with the success that Deion has had in sports and media, and as a player and a coach, but then when he's affected by something that so many of our friends, families, members of our community have been affected with, right? And I know firsthand how devastating a cancer diagnosis can be to a family. And for him to just really, in that moment, put it all on his shoulders and trust in the team, trust in God and the advice of his medical professionals and go through it really while people were really insensitive to what they didn't know what was going on, but they were talking about where Shedur was falling in the draft, and in his mind, I'm sure he was like, yeah, that's pretty tough, but being a 5th round pick versus a 1st round pick is nothing like going from being fully healthy to a guy dealing with bladder cancer that could possibly potentially take your life. So I'm sure he was dealing something far more serious than a first or 5th round pick. And to be honest with you, the way he kind of kept those guys insulated from the real details of his health situation is probably a sacrifice that probably was in the best interest of his children.
Yes.
But I'm sure it was pretty difficult for him.
Has to be difficult. They all of his kids, they come out and see him, including his daughters. They come out and see him. He kept it from them. He said he was just telling them there was some complications with his leg that he'd already had trouble with. Talking about a guy in the last 2 years that had to get potentially almost his leg amputated. They ended up amputating a couple of his toes, but they thought they were going to take his leg at one point. You backdoor a year and some change later, you're battling bladder cancer, and you come out on the other side of that as well too, man. So shout out to Deion. Shout out to the entire team, man, for being able to do this. And the delivery of the message, I think, was definitely very important. Them controlling their own narrative, not he told one person and then it leaked to this guy and now it blows up everywhere.
Now, one thing I'll say about Deion's camp, like Deion is a guy, I believe, that he demands loyalty over all else. Maybe loyalty over competence in some regard.
Yes.
And so in that regard, and that just goes to show if you now again, he not only demands loyalty, but I think he gives loyalty.
Absolutely.
So because I remember, just think about this. I know this is unrelated, but when Jackson State was dealing with some water issues back when he was a coach there, I remember when he said, okay, I'm just gonna take my own money, put these guys up in the hotel, and I'll feed them, and we'll figure it out later. Like, he takes the responsibility of taking care of those kids and those boys. And I think that people, there's been speculation that saying, hey, they may use this to recruit against him because they may say his health situation, this, that, and the other. But at the same time, you could also Colorado would turn around and say, hey, when I could have stepped away from the game, when I was at my sickest,
yes,
I stayed here and decided to coach. What makes you think as a healed man I'm gonna walk away from this job right now? Like he can flip that on him.
Yeah.
As well. And I think the loyalty and commitment that he has to the college, because one of the things that he said, he made it very clear. The reason why I took the treatment option that I took was so that I could continue this job as a coach without being interrupted every week with going to treatment.
Yes.
So this particular situation cured him of the cancer rather than have them treating the cancer during the season. And that's why he took what I would consider the more drastic option of whether he was given that complete bladder removal and reconstruction versus some treatment of the bladder cancer while he was still in his body. Man, like I say, man, he's an inspirational figure.
Absolutely.
I was watching a few live streams as, I would click in on a few live streams as it was going on. And the things that people were saying, man, like there's some sick people out there.
Oh,
man.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's some sick
gets
people
crazy
out
on
there,
the
man.
internet. It gets crazy.
This is what I'll say out there. You don't have to like him as a player. You don't have to like him as a coach. You don't have to like him as a media personality. The whole prime effect, all that kind of stuff, you can despise that. But a man, a father, being diagnosed with cancer, being concerned about whether or not he's going to be here for his family, that's a human story that all of us can identify with. And even in that moment, people were still saying, oh, he's an attention seeker. He'll do anything for attention and all this kind of stuff. When really, he's bringing awareness to something that there's a man having a problem with his bladder right today that's going to see Deion talk about it, that's going to have the courage and wherewithal to go get checked out, and it's going to save his life. Mm-hmm. That's going to happen.
Yep.
We know it's going to happen. Deion has just that big a platform. And rather than keep everything to himself, he decided to open up about what he's going through, open up about how he can't hold his bladder, open up that he's peeing in the bed, open up. You understand what I'm saying? Like he decided
Personal
to open up about this, and these people still saying he's seeking attention. Why would a man seek attention about peeing on himself?
Come on,
well, come on, man.
Why would one of the most famous people on the planet seek attention? Let's just start with that. He's not seeking. Maybe he is the attention. Everything Deion has done, he brings the attention. We in the media are orbiting around Deion and the other guys that are in it, the LeBrons, the Michael Jordans. That's how it works. It's not the opposite way around.
My partner Darrell Stimson says they kept it G14 classified over there in the Deion camp. You're absolutely right. They did.
They sure did.
And
locked up.
And it just goes to show you that anything revolving Deion, he's such a polarizing figure. Like, I mean, again, the man talks about God. He's been talking about God for 40 years. Mm-hmm. He's professing his love for God and Christ and whatever. We can evaluate his walk, but while you evaluating his walk, do you want somebody evaluating your walk?
Okay, come on, man. Come on, man.
So let's not get into that.
Let's
not get into that. You know what I mean? But under any other circumstance, a man that believes in God, takes care of his family, those men are celebrated, man.
Yes.
Why is it? And I don't want you to answer this question, Jalen, because I don't expect you to have the answer. But why is it that these people can't accept him as being the hero that he is because of what he's done, not only in sports, media, entertainment, and as a coach? Why they just can't appreciate the sheer resolve that he has as a man? I don't understand.
And it's just pure hate at this point, y'all. If you're still to the point you're hating on Deion, or his team's still not going to be good, all he does is look for attention, they want to control everything, it's just hate. You just have to admit it with yourself and come to grips with yourself that, hey, I'm a hater. I don't know how to stop this. Maybe you can find somebody else to hate on. But this is the wrong guy to hate on, clearly, because he keeps winning and keeps being able to overcome the different things. And with your hate, it's going to continue to still happen. So you might as well just stop and get that up now, man, because this is.
And this ain't a black or white thing.
No,
Because he got equal distribution of black haters and white haters. So this ain't no color thing. There are people who question his authenticity, question whether or not we should celebrate his success or anything. Question anything, man. Like I say, man, he's an inspiration. That's the way I see it. I was looking at the interview, and I was like thinking that it's going to be an inspirational story, and he's gonna. We all know that his game day speech is going to be epic.
Oh man, they're going to run through a wall. They're going to run through a wall.
His game day speech.
August 30th.
And so. It's one of Georgia Tech better watch out, baby. Because it's gonna be
with some of the backstory that we got off cam at Big 12 Media Day. Georgia Tech had it coming anyway. But after this today, Georgia Tech, y'all might want to buckle it up, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be buckled up, man. Like I say, I'm looking forward. But the beautiful thing is, Jalen, man, now that Coach Prime has done his interview, football season is underway,
football
man.
Season is back fully now.
And I'm so glad that I was excited 2 years ago when he became to Colorado, and opening day didn't let down when he played TCU.
Oh man, that was electric.
And I'm looking forward to this. Even without Travis, even without Shedur, I'm looking to see the guys we got a chance to meet. Caden Salter, Juju, Seedon. I'm getting a chance. I'm really looking forward to seeing those guys on the field. What looks to be in about a month. So
yeah. We right around the corner, man, from the football season kicking off, and I want to talk a little bit about the Big 12 and what we got to see some of those teams, see some of those guys there as well. But yeah, to close out the Deion story, man, definitely shout out to him. I seen Darrell that commented on there and said he scheduled a checkup today because of the news, man, and that's big, man. To see that a lot of people are going to do that. To see what Deion continues to inspire, he continues to inspire me. I seen him throw the little deal in there with the pins on the end. I said, man, Deion's going to do it. If he's going to do it, he's going to do it in the best way possible. Still found a way to get a deal out of this some kind of way with the pins, man. A money-making machine is Deion for sure, man. Must be the money, most definitely. And we saw in his some of his backstory with Bucky and showing some of the film of what happened in the backstory with Bucky, seeing Carucci over there on the sideline with him by the bed. I said, well, that might help you recover a little bit better. You got something to look forward to.
So you did see Carucci in the building?
She was on the video with Bucky. She was on the hospital bed side. And one of the parts of the videos, I think right before or just after he came out of surgery, I believe it was. So, hey, man, must be the money. That's all we can say. Coach D, man, still doing his thing, as we can see on and off the field, man. But shout out to Coach Prime. We got a chance to check out Big 12 Media Day like Rocky spoke about a little bit earlier, man. Got a real insight on what is a season for the Big 12 that I am super, super excited to see, because this is going to be one of the more interesting. Over the years, we got used to Oklahoma winning it every year, Texas winning it every year. Baylor had a little run in there for a couple of years, TCU. But these last couple of years, we have no idea what's going to happen. The conference is completely up for grabs. We got to see these teams up close and personal. We got to see their coaches up close and personal and see what these guys are talking about. And during that time, Rocky was asking different guys, and myself included, who are those 4 or 5 teams that just stick out, that have a chance to win it all in the Big 12. And we got a chance to put our eyes on some of these teams up close and personal. And I still feel like the Kansas States, the Baylors, the BYUs, after seeing those guys up close and personal, one of the bigger teams. Colorado, I feel like is going to be in that mix as well. What are some of those things you took away from seeing the coaches and players up close and personal at Big 12 Media Day?
One thing I got a chance to get an idea of how the players felt about their teams, right? And again, we were able to interview 3 different teams, and they all kind of felt, we knew how we felt about them, but I can honestly say Colorado, Texas Tech, and Baylor were very
Yes.
convincing in how they felt like their team were tooled up and ready to make a run, and all of them had really logical explanations as to why they're. Baylor simply said, the Baylor guys would simply say, hey, based on what we had and the guys that we added, the experience that we added, gives us a great opportunity. Considering they have they're one of the few teams that have a quarterback, coming back, and so then you have Texas Tech. They spent the most money in NIL of any team and so they've really tooled up. And we talked to one of the guys who transferred in, big 6'4" safety, man.
Yeah.
Did my research on that guy. He's the real deal.
Yeah.
I thought he was kind of big for a safety, but he's one of those guys that could be projected to be a box player as well if need be, And I want to say I'm gonna mess his name up.
Cole Wineski.
Wineski.
Yeah.
And he looked the part.
Yes.
And then we talked to a guy who's already proven himself on this level to be a top-notch player. We talked about Mr. Rodriguez.
Yeah, Jacob Rodriguez.
We don't have to. He's an All-American. So that's all you have to say about that. And then the Colorado guys. They feel like they have a much better team from a talent standpoint. There's been improvements in their coaching staff, right? The Dion and the coaches have gotten another year to build and implement their program, and they're on the trajectory to make a run at the title. So again. The what I was impressed with was the Caden Salters when he talked about the camaraderie in the quarterback room. He said, "Hey," he said, "I see myself in Juju.
Yep.
Juju is just like I was when I was a freshman. He's coming in here and he thinks he's the man, and I appreciate that, But I'm the guy with the experience. I'm the guy with the that's coming in to lead this team." And Juju should feel like, and I'm not threatened by Juju. I'm gonna coach him up and show him the ropes, and I thought that was just a great way to explain what's going on over there, man. And if that's what when you look at what they have, they've improved their offensive line.
Yes,
they've improved.
Offensive line is gonna be way better.
They've improved their now I say improve, but I'm saying I'll just say this: they've the depth and experience that they have at wide receiver now is probably greater than they had in previous years. Because at the top end, I don't think they're going to have anybody quite like Travis.
No.
Quite like Travis, but when you talk about top to bottom, they're probably going to be a little better at wide receiver. Then you talk about the D-line. They've tooled up in the D-line. Linebackers, they're going to be better. And, of course, they got a guy that's going to be another first-round pick at that corner. So there's not going to be a whole lot of drop-off right there. And that guy only goes one way.
Yeah.
I just think all in all, because Shedur's not there, I think the team's going to play and look different because I think Caden Salter is a different kind of quarterback than Shedur. But as I look through his highlights, he has his own set of attributes that makes him pretty hard to contain. And I'm looking forward to see what they do with him. So I think all those teams, even though national media has picked Arizona State to be the returning favorite, I don't think we're in a league where a team can just repeat like that because they again, they're gonna have their they're gonna have some of the guys that they had back, but a big part of their offense was a guy like Scatterboot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Huge part of the offense.
Their quarterback. Can he do? Is he the same player without Scatterboot? There's so many things. The guy, the situation at BYU with them having their starting quarterback transfer right at the last minute.
Yep.
That creates a situation there. Then you got UCF and Cincinnati. There's not much expected on those
UCF
fronts.
a lot of production. Cincinnati, more the same of last year.
Yeah. And then you got the 2 Kansas schools. Well, I if I have to choose one of them, I choose Kansas State as being the better team. But Kansas State does have their return. Their quarterback comes back. Kansas. Both quarterbacks come back.
Quarterbacks come back. Yeah,
Come
Jalen
back.
Daniels and
So does Jaden Daniels make that next jump as a senior quarterback? Does he become, the guy? And so there's a lot of different storylines we hear, but I'd like to think that the 4 teams that you should probably look out for: Kansas State, Texas Tech. I'm throwing Baylor in there. I got to throw Colorado.
Yeah. I would agree. I think if I had to add a 5th, I'm interested to see what is Utah going to look like. They really believe in the transfer quarterback from New Mexico, who had some great moments at times last year. What are they going to look like without Cam Rising and all those guys out there? BYU, how do they bounce back from the quarterback? I'm just not sold, and even after going to Big 12 Media Day, I'm just not sold on Arizona State. Could they prove me wrong? Absolutely. I'm just not sold on it. Of course, they still have Sam Levitt, one of the best returning quarterbacks in the Big 12. They get Jordan Tyson back, who was a problem at receiver before he got hurt. But you lose close to 40% of your offense with Cam Scatterboo, who's now in the New York Giants. I have to see it first.
And a lot, 40% of your offense, and then a lot of what you did was off of the production that Scatterboo got. So but they are confident. We talked to some guys there. They said they have a replacement running back that they feel confident in.
Yeah, came from Navy.
That they feel confident in, and so we'll just see. My main question is with Arizona State is going to be: is that quarterback truly who he was without Scatterboo?
Yeah, that's my main question too.
When you have a guy like that literally most of his production or most of the team's success was predicated on a running back, and you come back and you don't have that bell cow guy, and you kind of leave the quarterback to be a playmaker, to be the instead of a trailer.
Yeah.
You try to transition him into a truck.
Yeah.
I don't think guys transition from truck to trailers like that. So either you're already a truck, which means you can pull the offense yourself, or you're a trailer. You're someone that's getting pulled. So, and I think he's someone that needs to put some pulling.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think he's Avery Johnson. And Avery Johnson is a guy that does it. He can pull the trailer. He can pull the offense. He can lead the offense.
I think it's between him and Sawyer Robinson for best quarterback in the Big 12, even though most people would say Sam Levitt because of what he was able to do last year as a freshman. But I have Sawyer higher than him. I got Robinson. I got Avery Johnson higher than him as well. So, it's tough, man. The Big 12 is going to have some good quarterback play this year, and I definitely cannot wait to see it. The Colorado one is probably the most intriguing out of all of them because we just don't know. They've had a Shedur who should have been a first-round pick and Travis Hunter who could have easily been the number 1 pick in the draft on their team. So to see what they look like, I do think the offensive line is better. Caden Salter is a way more mobile quarterback than what we've seen the last couple of years with Shedur. How will they implement that offense? Will they get more of the running game now that I think the offensive line is going to be a lot better? Their defense has got good players spread out on the defense. It's not just Travis here and a couple of guys here. The D-line is going to be better, man. So I'm super interested in seeing it. I want to hit a couple local topics here before we go off and talk a little bit of NFL. Baylor, we'll talk about the recruiting class they've had in just a second, but they've made some recent inductions for their 2025 Hall of Fame class for the Baylor Bears. 2 notable names off their 2025 class for their entire sports department in the entire Hall of Fame for their sports department over at Baylor. Bryce Petty has made it into the Hall of Fame of the quarterback that was there from 2013 to 15, I believe it was. And Bryce Petty, they had probably the best Baylor teams in history. Bryce Petty was the quarterback for those teams as well. And then on the basketball side, Lace Darius Dunn, who was my first favorite Baylor basketball player that I can go back and even think of. Lace Darius Dunn was a problem in the Big 12 and for Baylor, man. So shout out to both of those guys for being inducted into the Baylor Hall of Fame. What do you think about Bryce Petty and Lace Darius getting inducted into that Baylor Hall of Fame this upcoming year?
Like I said, I think Bryce and Lace, they deserve to be
For sure.
And I think Bryce came in a very pivotal point in the building of that program.
Mm-hmm.
He was older. He was able to hold the fort down, so to speak. And again, as good as Bryce was, he had a tremendous supporting cast.
Oh my goodness.
He had
A monster.
Yes, I think he had 3 NFL receivers, and what turned out to be 3 or 4 sensational running backs that he played with.
Yeah.
And so again, no slight to Bryce, but he was definitely a product of some tremendous Baylor teams.
Yeah, that Baylor offense when he was there was pretty ridiculous. You think about Corey Coleman, who was first-round pick. I mean, Antoine Goodley, Tevin Reese, all the different guys he was able to go out there and play with. Josh Gordon was there. I think he might have been there, Bryce's first year, I believe.
Yeah.
Josh Gordon was there. Man, they played with some monsters. Shock Linwood, Lake Seastrunk in the backfield toting the ball.
JJ.
So, yeah. Man, a lot of guys that he played with, but definitely deserving. That team just got recognized for the first time, I think their 10-year anniversary this past season over at Baylor. They brought that team back for the first time
to
the new stadium, the first Big 12 championship team. They built it. They literally built that stadium. They gave them their first Big 12 championship, and because of some of the off-the-field stuff, the allegations that happened, those guys really were never welcomed back in to the program. Last year was their first time being able to do it. Now we're seeing guys like Bryce getting inducted, but I think there's some more guys off of those teams that also need to be considered for inducting. A couple
maybe
of
some local guys.
Yeah, guys like Ahmad Dixon, guys like Andrew Billings, who played a huge part on those teams and getting that first Big 12 championship. Jared Salubi, who was just a little bit before that. Man, so shout out to all those guys, and shout out to Bryce Petty. And then Lace Darius, like I said, was really when Scott Drew really got to finally put his imprint on the Baylor Bears team and got past some other things. Lace Darius was at the front of that. Guys like Tweety Carter, who's coaching there now as well, were a part of that, man. And so definitely shout out to those guys for being inducted. Baylor has put together a pretty impressive recruiting class. A few commitments since we've been off the show here the last couple of weeks. Rocky, they've got a few big-time commitments. We know about the local
I like
guys.
to refer to them as purchases.
Purchases, yes. And shout out to Keith Kimball, who was on the show with us maybe about a month ago and was talking off camera and said, hey, don't leave Baylor out when we were talking about these big-time NIL spenders. And I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I agree, but Baylor's got to show me a little bit more. Well, they showed me that they're willing to go into that pocketbook and make some things happen. We know about the local guys, the Jamarian Vincents and the London Smiths in that 26 class that have committed. But now we see other guys who are top recruits in the nation, starting with a guy that's right down the street, still here in the Central Texas area, in Jamarian Carlton, who is one of the top players in the state of Texas, D-end out of Temple, Texas, a top 100 recruit ranked by ESPN, a top 50 recruit ranked by Rivals. A lot of people have him as the number 1 recruit in the state of Texas. Getting that commitment from him was huge for Baylor. After that, they backdoor and get a big-time receiver out of San Antonio and Jordan Clay, 6'3", 200-pound receiver, big guy coming in. Another top recruit. He's in the ESPN top 200 or top 150 in the ESPN. He's in the top 100 on Rivals and other recruiting platforms as well. So they've added a lot of guys to this list, and Baylor is slowly but surely starting to put together one of their best classes that they've ever had in Baylor history. 16 commits already for the class of 2026. Multiple guys in the ESPN top 300 as well to go along with a pretty strong recruiting class that they had last year, along with some really good transfers that they have coming in. Guys like Fobbs White from Tulane, guys like Kobe Prentice from Alabama, Devin Turner from Northwestern. I think it'll make a big deal. What do you think about Baylor's really this last few months and how they've been able to close the deal in the transfer portal, backdoor, really starting to close the deal in some of these commitments from the 26th class?
Again, I think it's what has to be done in order for them to take that next step. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you're going to be a top 50 college program, you're going to have to make those investments in your NIL.
Yep.
And you're going to have to, and in Baylor in particular, I think it's imperative that in Central Texas, they lock Central Texas down.
Yes.
Because I think when they're looking for value, and I think that's what we have to talk about a bit nowadays when we're talking about recruiting. You want a kid that not only you can recruit, they'll come to your school, but if they have some investment in staying in this area, I think they're more inclined to stay as long as possible, and they can't just be bought off by another institution. So if you got kids that have roots in this area and you invest in those guys are maybe, if they do have some success, they won't be just quick to leave for the highest bidder. You know what I mean? Or at least they'll give Baylor an opportunity, or the community an opportunity to match or something like that, man. Because I think that's what they have. I think Baylor's formula has always been lock down Central Texas, right, and then go to the Metroplex in Dallas, in the Houston area, and get those special players. But if you just lock down Central Texas, you're gonna be okay.
Yeah,
those special players in the Metroplex and do some work out in East Texas to get some of those guys. You can do your work in the transfer portal if you want to as Baylor, but I think those investments have diminishing return.
The transfer portal is still we're still waiting to see what type of success teams are going to have for going all in the transfer portal, i.e. a team like Texas Tech. What are they going to do this year? And a team that goes full-fledged into the transfer portal. So I agree that you got to find some kind of way, that healthy balance between transfer portal guys and
expensive
freshmen.
Though.
It is expensive.
So that's my deal. You can go in the transfer portal, but it's expensive. And if you don't have Dion as your head coach, you better have money.
Yeah.
And so
exactly.
So and then you can recruit those guys in, and then they have some success. Then they go Ohio State or to the highest bidder. So again, I think locking down Central Texas is Baylor's true best option to build depth on their team, and have guys that are committed to their program.
Yeah, I think that this is the best route for Baylor right now to be able to take, as opposed to, like you said, spending a ton of money within the transfer portal, because you could spend a ton of money, and especially if they're an underclassman, a guy could go out, have a great season, catch for 1,000 yards, rush for 1,000 yards, whatever, and then here comes knocking Ohio State, here comes Florida State, here comes LSU coming knocking, and they can offer a bigger bag than what you can offer there. So the way that they're taking it, I think, is a great deal, man, and I'm really excited to see Baylor this upcoming season and to see this class coming in next year. How can they build on that? How can they keep some of these guys away? Because at the end of the day, it's still just a verbal commitment. First signing day is not until December. So you got to find a way to keep these guys locked in and out of other people's pockets all the way into December to get these guys signed. So shout out to Baylor, man. And like we've been saying all year, man, August 29th is going to be a big day for Baylor and for the furtherance of their season, because if they go out there, have success against Auburn, another team now is heavy in the transfer portal. Auburn's going to have a really good team this year, by the way, too. If they can come out against a team like Auburn and dominate, or not even dominate, but just come out with a win, that's completely different than if Auburn comes into town and beats you by 30. So that'll be an important game coming up on August 29th, Friday night game is what they have. Folks, want to go to some quick takes here while we have some time left on the show. There's been plenty of news going on around the world of sports. Obviously, we talked about Deion and we've talked about Baylor and what they've been able to do. But since you were just talking about some NIL propositions with Baylor and how they've been able to recruit, also since we've been gone, on July 24th, President Trump has signed an executive order to do something about NIL. He wants some regulations on NIL and how it's been going so far. He wants some mandates. He wants to pretty much cut the pay for play, as what they've called it, out of it. He wants it to be a regulation type of thing, almost a salary cap. You guys have this much money to spend. We're not going to have these outside sources coming in, a Texas Tech, or where they have a guy in Campbell out there spending a lot of money. They don't want a guy like that to come in, have $100 million, and change the program. Essentially, this is just the bill and what he's proposed or what they've signed so far, but obviously there's going to be some more nuance to it. What do you think about Trump coming down from the White House and getting all the way involved now in this NIL thing?
Well, it's crazy because the conservative principle is anti-regulation. And this is absolutely them stepping into regulation. Not only, conservatives also bolster that they're in favor of a free market economy.
Yep.
This is certainly would be counter to a free market economy.
Yep.
So there's so much hypocrisy in this. What they're really trying to do, Jalen, is maintain the status quo, which was amateurism.
Yes.
For so many years. They don't like the idea that the kids are cut in now.
Mm-hmm.
You have to pay the kids. They don't like the idea, and I understand. It's if someone had to start charging us for air, we'd have a problem with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Something where we've gotten free for so many years, our entire lives, we've gotten it free, and now someone wants to charge us for air. All right. But I wouldn't be surprised if they do it. Water used to be free too. But you probably don't remember. But my point in saying this is that it's in contradiction to the core principles as conservatives, and I think this is a main effort to maintain the status quo, to keep a class of people, subject to the power and authority of another group.
Mm-hmm.
But in my opinion, this is simple. This is literally going to kill college football.
Yes.
Because now that a kid is going to get paid, getting paid, they're not going back to not getting paid.
Going back. Ain't no going back.
They'll go to the UFL. The UFL will serve as some type of minor league football and pay kids before kids
go back to playing for free.
Yeah,
that's not happening.
Yeah, that's not over. and then here again, what if the players then unionize?
Mm.
See, again, there's a lot of, and I'm not a legal expert or anything like that, but the way they have it now actually probably is the best of both worlds for the schools themselves, right? With the House settlement, it's the best of both worlds. Yep. What they don't want is that $20 million commitment, and then the kids also are able to make money outside of the $20 million commitment.
Mm-hmm.
But if they do it any other way, then they risk having some antitrust lawsuit filed against them, And with that will completely undermine. I mean, if they get an antitrust, then the players have to unionize, and then they have to collectively bargain, and it changes the actual framework of college sports now.
Yeah.
Again, I would strongly recommend that President Trump allow the people with the most to gain and lose work out the circumstance under the current condition to make it fair and equitable for all parties involved. The players deserve to be cut in. These schools, how are you going to cap the players if you're not going to cap the conferences from signing media deals? You're not capping them.
Nope.
You're not capping their media deals.
Absolutely not.
You're not capping their endorsements. You're not capping their sponsorships. You're not capping their donations. So why do you want to cap what the players can earn? This is ridiculous to me. This is ridiculous. This is just another instance of where politicians are trying to hold on to the status quo because you had an exploited class of people providing free labor to a group of people who were making billions off of that free labor.
Yep.
And now that it's no longer free, they don't want to have to pay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even Coach Dion said it at his press conference at Big 12 Media Day, quoting a rap song, said it's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it. So now that the players are getting paid as still pennies on the dollar of what's being made in college football, because we're mad at the guy because, oh, man, he's making $5 million.
I think I want to say the
play
schools pay out like in the SEC, the schools pay out like $53 million a school.
Come on, man.
And this is just for the football.
Yes,
just
football.
for the football.
That's just football.
For the football.
But that's not including the baseball team.
And they ain't got nothing to do with what they charging at the gate. That ain't got nothing to do
Parking.
with the bowl payouts. That ain't got nothing. You understand what I'm saying? That ain't got nothing to do with all parking and merchandise. And come on, man. Come on, player.
And now you want to regulate it because somebody, like you said, free labor was getting exploited. Now it's not free labor, and now you're going to have to pay.
You got to remember, to get paid was against the rules.
Yeah. Literally against the rules. To the point of we will kick you out. It's not against the rules, and we're going to make you sit. You're done. You're done in college football.
You can lose your eligibility.
You will lose eligibility if you
Come on, man. The kids ain't going back to not getting paid.
It's over. UFL, you might want to start prepping. You might want to do something, get something ready, or make a G League, whoever, make something come back out.
But that's the other thing too.
Yeah.
I think the NFL will eventually tap Trump on the shoulder and say, hey, buddy, we don't want to have to fund our own minor league like baseball.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to do that.
Yep.
So, hey, just
ain't no G League Ignite in the NFL.
No.
We ain't doing that.
No.
So you need to get this back together so that we can start
getting football
getting
is a much more expensive operation.
Way more expensive. Way more expensive.
Than basketball.
Yes.
You
way more expensive operation. More mouths to feed, so many more players, housing, travel, equipment, doctors.
You need, in basketball, you need 3 officials.
Mm-hmm.
You need 7, 8, 9 officials in football. Come on, man.
Yeah. It's a completely different monster.
Yeah,
so to try to regulate that, man, I don't think it's going to work. I know that the bill's been signed. There's going to be pushback. There's way too much money to be made because it's going to end in, like what you said, some type of antitrust happening, some type of holdout is going to end up happening, some type of lockout, and nobody wants that. So it's going to get resolved some type of way. I'm not a fan of the bill, obviously, whatsoever, but I still think all in all, at the end of the day, the players are
like
I
say, he's trying to do what he can do to stave off. He's been asked by colleges and to do something. They're complaining.
Yeah.
And since he's a king, he feel like he can do something about it. Whereas, hey man,
ain't nothing you can do about that, bro.
This is horses out the barn, baby.
Yeah.
People getting paid. You can't go to getting paid. Now you don't. Oh, come on, man. You got kids making $2 million, $3 million in NIL, and now you want this next generation of kids to decide that they're not gonna get no money. Oh, come on, man, you crazy.
It's not happening. It's not happening, man.
They'll revolt, man. They won't even show up.
They won't show up. You won't have nothing. And then how are your schools gonna stay open? Because I'm sure a large portion of their revenue comes from football, and I'm sure they use that money on other things besides just buying helmets and socks and cleats for guys.
Absolutely.
So how is that going to affect these schools? So there's so many other layers to this as well.
They use that to support what I call the welfare sports. Some people say call them the non-revenue sports. I call them the welfare sports.
That is 100% true. I mean, y'all know it is. Nobody's coming and watching. They don't build those big stadiums for equestrian. They build the giant stadiums for football.
And basketball.
And basketball as well. So that's what the money makers are, man. So we'll keep our eye on that one, but we all know where that's going. Players are going to still get paid, and they're going to keep playing football. So at the end of the day, that bill will be changed. While we're talking about getting paid, got to ask you, man, about your Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones has had a lot of things to say the last couple of days in the openings of training camp. He's talked about paying players, about not paying players, and there's been a lot of back and forth with just that. And then I believe yesterday or the day before, we see one of the guys that's fighting for some money, Michael Parsons, have an almost impromptu press conference himself with the assistance of Trayvon Diggs by his side to have guys come over and ask him some questions about how does he feel about not getting paid. And he says, it's messed up when you look at other guys around the league that are getting taken care of, the T.J. Watts, the Myles Garretts, and all these guys that are getting paid at his position. He's having the same type of production. He's not getting paid. Jerry Jones is I don't know what Jerry Jones is doing. Actually, he's coming out and saying more and more things, and I'm kind of just like, what are we?
He filibustering. That's all he's doing.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's a great way to put it. He's filibustering.
He's just trying to delay it. Again, this story is written.
Yep.
You're going to have to pay him or you're going to have to trade him.
Yep.
You don't want to trade him, so guess what? You got to pay him. You can't have – he tries to hold out for the hometown discount. And these new guys, these new age players ain't giving you the hometown discount.
If you do the same thing over and over again.
He's mad at Dak because Dak took money at the top of the market. You waited to pay Dak, and Dak took money at the top of the market. If you had dealt with this situation last year with Micah, it wouldn't cost you what it's going to cost you. It's your own fault, Jared. It's your own fault.
It's 100% your own fault.
Your own fault. If you don't like whatever the number is, and you don't like the number, it's getting worse.
We're watching it in real time get worse. You could have signed him, then Myles Garrett got paid. You could have signed him, then T.J. Watt got paid.
You could have got him before T.J. Watt got paid. You probably could have got him from less than what Max Crosby got, which was $35 a year.
Yeah.
You probably could have got him for less than what Max. You probably could have got him for Aaron Donald's deal a couple years ago. You 31, 32, 33. I think you could have got him for around that.
Then you let Max get paid. Then Myles gets 50. Then TJ gets more than that. And now guess who's next in line with their hand up like this in line, saying it's my turn. And you can't.
And it's your because again, there's no going. It doesn't seem like there's going to be any regression in the salary cap. With that being the situation, the players and more importantly the agents already know. Okay, you waiting is not putting me in a pinch. You waiting just means that I'm going to have more money available in cap
else
space.
Gonna get signed. What happens if Trey Hendrickson gets signed next? Then what's going to happen for Mike?
Yeah.
Like it never makes sense. I don't understand Jared's reasoning behind it. If you do the same thing over and over and and expect a different result, it's insane.
What I suspect they're going to get their TV payout money, which I think it happens the week before the first week or after the last week of preseason. There's only 3 preseason games, right? Mm-hmm. So I think they get $260 million, something like that, and then maybe Jerry will sign him then.
Jerry don't need any IOU deals, man. This dude's yacht.
But you got that deal in the NFL where you got to all the guaranteed money has to be encumbered. Like the guaranteed money has to be put in the bank somewhere where you don't touch it. You can draw interest off of it, but you can't touch it. So he's gonna pay him.
He is. He's gonna pay him.
Micah understands, what this is. This is, you can draw this out. But if you think 50 is the number this year, if you let me go to free agency, what do you think the number's going to be?
60 by that point.
Huh? Come on, man.
The salary cap goes up every single year. The TV revenue money goes up almost every single year.
Come on, man.
Like, he's going to get paid more money. What do you think about him almost taking shots at Trayvon Diggs and Dak Prescott saying, I paid guys at the top of the market, and they come out there and don't play?
It's football, baby. Football. Here's the deal. You invested in football, Jerry.
Yep.
Football is going football. It's the same thing I say with Shedur's situation over in Cleveland. You can put him on the bench. You can put him on a little field. You can not give him reps. But at the end of the day, football is going football. And one thing football does is football is going to injure players. Guys are going to get opportunities that you didn't plan on. Mm-hmm. Things are going to, stuff's going to happen in football. And so when guys end up injured, when guys end up hurt in football, that's just football being football. Yeah. That's why those guys want that security at the same time. That's why guys want that guaranteed money, because guess what? Football is going football. And so with that being said, why would at Micah would you take anything less than what you deserve in the market? Jerry's not going to take less. Jerry's not giving any discount. Last time I checked, ain't no discount codes you can buy a Dallas Cowboy ticket with. Mm-mm. When you go buy that $11 beer, they're not giving you no discount for that beer.
Not at all.
Man, I bought 2, I can't remember what it was, but it was 2 beverages and 2 drinks. And it hit me for $60, man.
Oh, yeah.
You hear me?
I got hit with similar prices going there for that Monday night game.
2 beverages and 2 food items. $60.
$60. Parking. That don't include parking.
I was like, oh man, Lord, parking.
I had to Uber for my parking spot because I didn't want to
$100, man. Come on, man, Jerry. And it was my wife. I love her. She means the world to me. and it was her hometown team that we were going to see. But he didn't give me no discount on them tickets, man. Them tickets cost what they cost, man.
I'm telling you.
At the end of the day, man, Jerry not taking no discount. So
No, sir.
I don't know why we get this mindset that the players got to, the guys who are risking the most, they should be the ones. And when I mean risking the most, I'm talking about their health, their safety, their viability in future years. We see guys like Dion. There's no guarantee you get to enjoy your football is one of those games that there's no guarantee where guys are gonna get to enjoy his golden years because the sport is so harsh. His golden years may not be so golden. You know, guys, you see guys on walkers, limping, hip replacements, knee replacements, all this kind of stuff, man. For all that money, those guys deserve to be taken care of. And Jerry, hey, take a message from the buses. When it got too expensive for the buses, they sold out. When are you gonna sell out? Is it too much for you now? Is it too much money? Are the players getting too much paid?
Yep.
Is the overall cost of owning the team too absorbent for you? You can always sell, and I think you can get close to $20 billion for the Cowboys.
Yes, absolutely.
The Saudis are definitely buying the Cowboys. I don't care.
Man, come on. They'll have a league just like they did with the PGA and force them to, y'all don't want to give us no league? Well, we're going to Debo our way into getting us a league.
We're going to buy the Cowboys. Yeah. So anyway, my deal is, Jerry, look here, Jerry, and this is my advice. Take care of Mike. Embrace him, give him a hug, pay him his money, and let's get this season underway. We got a great opportunity this year. I believe that the NFL is wide open. A lot of people believe that the Philadelphia Eagles are the odds-on favorite. I know in recent history, that in the NFC at least, that hangover is a real that Super Bowl hangover is a real thing.
It seems to hit every year in the NFC.
It seems a real thing.
Yeah.
You know, so again, Philly's not going to be guaranteed the health they had last year. You know, I don't think Saquon missed the game last year. You know, I don't think Jalen Hurts missed the game.
Missed one.
I think Kenny Pickett did. Kenny Pickett played one. So yeah. So let's go ahead and let's get it taken care of, and let's get this season underway. Because guess what? If I'm Micah, I'm not playing on 1 year. No, I'm not playing on 1 year. You need to get my money right. And Micah is not sitting out. He's participating in team drills.
Yeah,
he's working. So come on, man, take care of him.
You got to take care of him. Take a page out of the guy we just talked about, the Eagles, Jeffrey Lurie, man. They pay the guys early, and we keep saying, how do they keep getting all this money? They're just paying the guy. It's because they do it as soon as they're available to get paid, and they do it right then. Because if we wait 6 months, it's going to increase. If you wait a year, it's going to increase. Let's pay Saquon right now, even though we just paid him. Let's pay A.J. Brown, all these guys. Let's pay them right now before the number just keeps going up.
Probably after this season, they're going to pay Jalen Carter.
Yes. They're not going to
let him get at the top of the market.
Absolutely. Come on, man. A guy like Jalen Carter, no, sir. So, man, you got to take a page out of that. I'm like you. I think the Cowboys actually have a pretty decent chance this year. Dak Prescott is still saying all the right company things, but I don't look at any of that. I like what their offense, how they improved. I love the additions of George Pickens. I love the running back additions that they made as well, because I think they'll be better than obviously just Rico Dowdell and whoever else can get in the game. I think they'll be better than that. Yeah, exactly. I still ain't seen Deuce, man. I think they're going to convert him to just special teams. So I still ain't seen him get no carries. But, yeah, man, I'm excited for the Cowboys. And, like you said, that not only is the NFC open, no one in the last 20 years has repeated in the NFC East as champions. So if I just got to go against history, nobody's repeated. In the last 20 years of me watching football, no team in the NFC East has won a back-to-back championship in the NFC East. So I got to just lean on history and say it's probably going to be somebody else. So we'll see, man. We'll keep our eyes on the Dallas Cowboys and what they have coming up. Football season is right around the corner, folks, and I cannot wait. NFL training camp has just kicked off over the last few days, and everybody is getting out there. Everybody's 0-0 right now, so everyone thinks they have a chance. One of the teams that I'm sure not only us two but the world has been looking in on more than usual is the Cleveland Browns training camp, which I've never watched Cleveland Browns training camp a day in my life. And since Shedur has been there, not only am I watching, But every
The
single
world.
video I see on YouTube that has anything to do with Browns has Shedur Sanders in the title of that video, even if he never appears once in the video. His name is up there at the top because everybody wants to see Shedur Sanders. Everybody wants to know what is going on. We've both been watching, and since we've become, I guess, underclassmen of versions of Cleveland Browns insiders, like everybody else has, what have you seen so far out of Cleveland Browns camp and Shedur Sanders and what he's been able to do?
Well, so I've seen. I've thought long and hard about this.
Yeah.
One thing I see is the Browns have not, up until Saturday, because I think Saturday was different. Mm-hmm. They hadn't engaged Shedur in the first 3 practices of a quarterback competition. Mm. He was not in a quarterback competition, right? He was doing a lot of his work on the side field. During team drills, he wasn't getting reps, right? But Saturday, they inject him into the team drills. He throws 3 touchdowns in practice. I want to say he's something like 8 for 11 and throws 3 touchdowns. What I think they're trying to do is prolong the competition because there's an aspect of this that's just good for business. Now, whether he can beat Kenny Pickett out or Flacco or Gabriel, I think the Browns are less interested in that. I think they're interested in how long can they draw this story out. Mm-hmm. Give you an example. What I mean by that is if he comes along and he's far and away the best quarterback right away, then that ends all the drama.
Yeah.
There's no drama. It start getting him ready for week 1, which is a different – doesn't, in my opinion, doesn't have as much intrigue. Now there's conversations about how – why he failed and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. But I don't think long-term that helps the Browns with their desire to continue to generate interest. However, if they drag it out in some way, then what they do, they keep all of the preseason games become relevant. The talk around the Browns is relevant. Whoever they name as starters as a starting quarterback, they don't have to name the starter until the first week. You understand what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of there's a lot of things that you drag the story out. I think, like I said earlier, football is going to football.
Yeah.
And we've already seen football start footballing in Cleveland because today we found out that Kenny Pickett has a hamstring issue, and he didn't practice today. So guess what? Those reps that Shedur wasn't getting, those reps that Kenny Pickett was getting, what are they going to do with those reps?
Yeah.
Are they going to let Shedur get some of those reps? And then when he gets those reps, what he does with them. Ultimately, I think, like I say, football is going to football. Football creates opportunities for the people that deserve them. It may be delayed. It may not be in a way or fashion. But if you're in camp, if you're on a squad and you're on a roster, football is going to create opportunity for you. And I think at the end of the day, I think Shedur is one of those guys, or when the lights are the brightest, that's when you're going to get the best out of him.
Absolutely.
And if his best is a franchise quarterback, then I think at some point they'll have no chance but to put him at that position. When the timeline on that, I don't think the Browns are in any rush. I don't think they are in any rush. A lot of people speculate that they are tanking for Arch. They would rather take those 2 picks or whatever. But again, I say to this: if you tank for Arch, do we even know if Arch is any good?
No, we don't.
Do we even know if Arch is any good? Is he going to come out next year?
There's that too.
You know what I mean? And if Arch is any good, and he comes out next year, will he want to sign with the Browns?
Yeah.
Because I don't suspect it's going to be any different when he comes out of college than when Peyton and Eli came out. They wanted to dictate what the options were, and I suspect they're going to attempt to dictate for Arch as well. So, again, a lot of this story is still left to be written.
Yes.
And I I would try to temper the expectations for people who are concerned about Shedur getting a fair or unfair shake. Again, as long as he's on the roster, then he has an opportunity. From there, football is going to football.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the perfect way to put it. Football is going to football.
Yeah.
And with guys like Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry being backs against the wall as far as keeping their job, at the end of the day, we don't want to go 0-10. If Shedur is the best guy, we're going to put him out there so we have a chance to win some games so I can have a check next season. So I definitely think football will football in that space.
And there's some, and let's say this, there's some value maybe in Shedur being the backup.
Oh, yeah.
To a Kenny Pickett or a Joe Flacco. I think what people are concerned about is he getting a fair shake against Dylan Gabriel? Mm-hmm. You have to understand, this is about pecking order.
Yes.
Dylan Gabriel's a third-round pick. Shedur is a fifth-round pick.
Yep.
If it was the other way around, how would you take Dylan Gabriel getting more reps than?
And would anybody even offer that question of should Dylan Gabriel be getting more reps than Shedur? No, that question wouldn't come up.
Yeah, so I think we can't be emotional about this.
Yes.
You can get emotional about it, but I don't think it does us any good. I think they just put the pads on today. So There's so much football left. And when I say football is going to football can football in the other way. Mm-hmm. Well, Shedur could end up being injured or something like that. Again, football is going football. But I want to know this particular training camp is Shedur and viable NFL quarterback. Mm-hmm. That's what I want to be. Now, I think a lot of this story is left to be written.
Yes.
Right? But if he's a viable quarterback, then we can say in the future, what can he be?
Yeah.
Because of where he was drafted, he has to make a roster. He has to show that he's a viable quarterback. And I'll tell you this. You'll know what the Browns think of him if they don't put him on the practice squad.
Yes.
If they put him on the practice squad, you know what they think of. If they don't put him on the practice squad and you're a fifth-round pick and you don't get put on you're the third quarterback and you don't get put on the practice squad, that lets you know. Because ultimately, let me explain to you, the practice squad means you're unprotected. That means anybody
in the league can come and get you.
And can claim you.
Anybody.
Again, I'll even say this. As injuries happen all over the league, there are going to be inquiries made.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. Yeah.
They're going to be. You know why they're going to be inquiries made? Because Shedur has made $14 million in jersey sales already.
$14 million. That they negotiated a clause for him to get paid from as well out of the jersey sales that he's receiving. Out of the jersey sale, he's going to receive a commission check from that. So
I think that's his commission check.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The commission was the $14 million. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So come on, man. He's already made more money than the NFL contract times 5 at this point almost. So, man, I think, like you said, football is going to football. Reports are coming out that the Browns are likely, it's coming from a source inside, to trade one of the 4 quarterbacks, is what reports made by an ESPN insider, that the Browns are likely to trade one of those guys because you can't stick any of those guys on the practice squad because they'll be gone the next day. No matter any of the 4, you decide, we'll just stick them on the practice squad.
Well, I don't think Kenny Pickett or Joe Flacco are eligible.
They're not eligible. They're not. You're not. You're right. You have to be a 4-year or under.
Or you have to have under so many games active.
Played. So they're not eligible for that at all. Shedur, no way. There's not a chance he would see the practice squad whatsoever. And like you said, with the way the football is already football and Kenny Pickett getting his injury, Coach Kevin Stefanski has already come out and said that those guys will get an uptick in their reps in practice. So far, Shedur is the only quarterback on the roster that hasn't done any first-team reps whatsoever. And I think that kind of plays into what you were talking about with the Browns of they want to take their time with this because there's no benefit in throwing him out there right now. Shedur is the first-team quarterback, and we get it. You lose all the storylines. Everything starts to become centered around how can Shedur get this offense to go when you can just sit back in the back of their mind.
Or if you so think about this though. Think about this. Is after 1 week, you decide that Shedur is the starter. Why the hell did you draft Dylan Gabriel?
Yeah.
At
now
3,
you have to answer all these questions.
Yeah, so you have to. So even if just say this, say Shedur ends up being the week 1 starter, which I don't think he will be.
Neither.
I don't think it will be. You're still gonna have to. The narrative has to be that it's really close.
Yeah.
Just to justify.
Oh, you look like idiots for drafting. Or they figure out who you really are and say, well, why did you draft Dylan Gabriel in the third round?
What the thing that will confuse me more than anything is if they trade Dylan Gabriel for a 3. Like for instance, if for some reason, now if they trade Dylan Gabriel for a 4 or a 5 or a 6 round pick, or a player for that matter, then it lets me know what they thought of Dylan Gabriel. But if they let him go for a 3 or better, or say a 3, it's hard to, because they could just be acquiring draft capital to put themselves in position next year. You understand what I'm saying? But if they let him go for a 4, they're just simply unloading him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's what it's going to have to be. If he gets traded, which I think Dylan Gabriel is probably the only tradable asset in this equation. Obviously, you can't trade Shedur. No one's going to trade for Joe. And Kenny
you don't
Pickett,
think you could? I think you could. You could trade Shedur.
I don't. You can. I'm not saying it's impossible.
I think you could trade Shedur, but my point is, I don't think it'd be smart.
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't think in either one of their interests it would be smart for them to trade Shedur. Dylan Gabriel, I think the highest you get for Dylan Gabriel is a 6th round pick, in my opinion. If you decide to trade him, that's the highest you can get for him. And it's the NFL. People get traded. Joe Milton got traded for a 7th round pick. I don't think anybody's trading more for Dylan Gabriel than they would for Joe Milton. Dylan Gabriel has no physical attributes whatsoever and no college resume to back up why somebody would want to trade anything higher than that for him. So if anyone gets traded out of this room, I think it's Dylan Gabriel. Like you said, they're going to delay this process so they don't look like idiots and have to answer the question of why in the world did you waste a 3rd round pick on Dylan Gabriel if you knew you were going to pick Shedur, who you know is better than Dylan Gabriel. So we're going to delay this process some. With Kenny Pickett getting hurt, that might speed some of the process up more because we're going to get to see now Shedur with the 2nd team a little bit more. We'll see him getting reps possibly with the 1st team. He has yet within the first week of training camp to get any reps with the 1st team, but that I think will soon change with the injury to Kenny Pickett now.
I suspect the distribution is going to be somewhat similar to what it has been. I don't think he'll be on the other field working with the 3s, but what I do believe is that he'll get more 2nd, 3rd team reps and by volume, and then Dylan Gabriel is going to get more 1st, 2nd team reps. I don't think they're – because, again, I don't think there's any benefit within the next – prior to the preseason game, giving Shedur a volume of first round. Because if you do that, then you're putting him in the quarterback competition. And I don't think you had him removed from the quarterback competition this long only to inject him into it.
A week into training.
Yeah, a week into training camp. I don't think you inject him into it. But what that does set up for is that he gets a great number of reps during the preseason game because you kind of understand that the starter or the presumed starters will not get any reps during the preseason.
And then a guy like Joe Flacco, you can't almost put out there in preseason because if he gets hurt, you just pretty much have to throw his contract away because of his age and all of that. So you almost can't put him out there in preseason to go along with it, depending on how long this hamstring injury lingers for Kenny Pickett. Now we're looking at a Dylan Gabriel Shedur preseason.
I say that this is what I felt from probably since Thursday, Friday. This is going to ramp up once they do the inter-squad scrimmages. Because what happens in the inter-squad scrimmages, even though Shedur won't be able to go against the other team's ones or twos, what'll end up happening, he'll go against other players.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll be able to see how he operates as a quarterback against – because you can always discount and say, oh, he's playing against plumbers and whatever. But when he does that against another team's backups and reserves, you almost have to say, well, if he can do that against our backups and reserves and he can do that against their backups and reserves, why aren't we giving him a shot with – I mean, literally, Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco, and Gillis have to be just lights out for him not to get any reps if he's doing well in the inter-squad scrimmage with on the twos and threes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Like they have to be lights out for you just to say, nah, we're not going to give him any reps, whatever. I don't think either of those three is going to be lights out.
No, not at all. I don't think they've been lights out so far.
Because I think the Eagles and the Rams are the two teams that they're going to in the squad scrimmage. You know they're going to find out.
Yeah.
They're going to find out.
You're going to see the real deal. You're going to see Dylan Gabriel throw some pick sixes, and you're going to see Shedur be able to do what he does out there.
I suspect everybody's going to struggle some.
Because they're not a good football team. So I expect them to all struggle at the QB spot from what they're trying to do out there. They don't have we don't even know what their running back's going to do. We were all happy they drafted Quinshawn Junkins. Now he's in legal trouble. We don't even know if he'll be there to start with. So we don't know what this offense is going to look like. Only guy they got out there.
They got a second team. They got a second-round linebacker that's in some legal.
Yeah.
He may have already been suspended a couple games, I think.
So Cleveland's got a lot of things going on. Cleveland is Clevelanding right now and being the Browns and showing that they've got a lot going on. But I'm interested, like you said, those inter-squad scrimmages is going to show a lot. Now I believe he's going to get a lot of reps in training camp. From what I've seen and from what Cleveland Browns reporters have seen, Dylan Gabriel is not good right now. At least of right now, he's not good. We know what Joe Flacco is. I think Joe Flacco is a very competent QB in the NFL. We have no idea what Kenny Pickett's going to do, so that's just going to open up the lane for Shedur.
And I'll say this, in defense of Dylan Gabriel, as long as it's a passing competition, I think Shedur is going to win every time in a passing competition. He has every throw in his arsenal. He throws with touch. He throws with finesse. He throws with velocity.
Yep.
He has even though he's not a strong arm quarterback, he can make every throw, and he does every throw pretty daggum accurate. But I don't think quarterback is just a passing competition.
No, not at all.
And so I think both of them, we'll have to see both of them in real game situations to really evaluate who's the more effective quarterback.
Yeah, I agree. I think in the games, that's completely different than practice as well, too. We've only seen them against their own guys at this point. So
it's really a passing competition.
Yeah, it is. You can't touch the guys, anything like that. So it's really just a passing competition.
And I expect, and just be honest, if Shedur can't win a passing competition against Dylan Gabriel, he probably won't win a quarterbacking competition against him.
No. And he's probably not going to be that good of an NFL quarterback if he can't win a passing competition against the Dylan Gabriel, who's unproven as well. So, and it's going to be a lot of storyline. I 100% agree with what Rocky said. They're going to drag this out. This is not going to be an overnight process.
So
what's the point?
So let's not get over emotional.
Yes.
Let's not start the free 12. Let's not demand that Cleveland trade Shedur.
Start chanting Shedur.
Let's not march on the Cleveland practice field. Let's not start picketing. None of that stuff, man. Football is going football, baby.
Yeah.
Football is going football. Man, you could literally in football go one day, they got 4 quarterbacks, come back the next day, and there's nobody but Shedur behind the quarterback because all the other quarterbacks have pulled something or broke something or whatever.
Especially this early when no one wants to play with an injury. Any small injury, you're going to sit down. Especially if the organization values you like they do quarterbacks, you're going to sit down.
So that's the other thing.
Yeah.
They don't want to compare. They don't want an injured Kenny Pickett to be compared to a healthy Shedur.
Yes. Yep.
They don't want that narrative out there. Like I say, this is a real and again, I want to say this. I understand why the Browns are in this situation. And just let me run this down before we get out of it. The far more popular quarterback is the 4th string quarterback.
Yes.
Far more popular, has sold more jerseys, has more social media traction than any nobody else on the roster.
And it ain't close.
Even if Shedur sucks as a quarterback, if he's horrible as a quarterback, it is in their best interest to draw it out as long as they can.
To the last second.
So they can milk everything they can out of him.
Absolutely.
But the issue I think it really is that he's not horrible. They know he's a good quarterback, and they have to manage all of the fallout related to where his draft position was, right? And it's better to slow play that aspect of it to make it seem like it was really close. Shedur was, I mean, we could have went with either one of them. You understand what I'm saying? You've heard the
coach talk.
Yeah, the coach. We could have went with either one of them. We went with Dylan. Or we decided, Shedur and Dylan, we just felt like, why'd you end up trading Dylan? We just could get more for Dylan at the end of the day. They were willing to offer more for you know how they we were trying to we were trying to put another package together, but bottom line is they were willing to give us more for Dylan. You know what I mean? All the coach speak
that they always
they gonna
say,
put it. So again, but here's what they can't. They can't control football because football is gonna football. And
can't
so
control popularity. You can't control any of that. That's out of your hands.
So as this unfolds, right? I wouldn't say, like you said, Kenny Pickett gets injured. Just think about this. Kenny Pickett gets injured. Dylan Gabriel gets traded. Joe Flacco is the starter. Shedur is the assumed backup. I kind of think that's best case scenario for the Browns.
Yeah, honestly, I agree.
They got the quarterback of the future. They got someone to hold down the fort. They can almost tank at the same time having somebody tune in each and every week, hoping that Joe Flacco gets his block knocked off.
Every single week they're going to be tuning in to watch that. Training camp, preseason, this is going to be the most watched preseason
hoping that Joe Flacco gets his block knocked off so Shedur can run in and save the day.
Again, put his cape on.
I'm just saying, I don't write the scripts. I just watch them. You know what I mean?
And a lot of the scripts have been similar over the years, so you've seen plenty of it, man. I agree, man. Shedur, this is going to be something we watch all season. That's why they're doing it like this. It's going to be the most watched preseason they've ever had. It's going to be the most watched week one game they've ever had. It's going to be the most watch of all of that because everyone wants to see the things that we just spoke about as well. Before we get out of here, man, Rocky, you are a well-known Madden advocate like myself over the years. So they've released their 99 club that they do every year of the guys that made the 99 overall. I want you to tell me if they left anybody out or does somebody need to come off of this list. 7 guys, I believe, got the 99 treatment, which I think is a lot of guys. 7 guys got the 99 overall this year. Justin Jefferson is in the list. Josh Allen made the list. Saquon Barkley made the list.
Gotcha.
Jamar Chase made the list.
Gotcha.
Lamar Jackson, Action Jackson made the list.
Gotcha.
Lane Johnson, I guess they wanted to give some love to the big guys. Lane Johnson makes the list as the only lineman to get that 99.
I don't think he gave up a sack last year, so I'll give him that.
He did not give up a sack last year. He was absolutely phenomenal. He false starts every single play. I don't know how they don't get that, but whatever the new lineman trick is, every single play he false starts. But he is great. We already said Justin Jefferson. And the last one is Myles Garrett, lined up for the 99. Anybody left out, anybody needs to come off of that 99 list. This is supposed to be a special. I remember when Madden was just one guy was going to get a 99. It's going to be Randy Moss, or it's going to be somebody, or maybe they'll throw in a Joe Thomas or somebody that we know no one's going to debate. Oh, he's a left tackle, whatever. Just give him a 99.
Man, I'm going to be honest with you. Those 7 guys are – now, those guys are freaks, man.
Yeah.
All 7 of those guys are freaks, man. Like, I could say Jamar Chase not being a 99.
After Triple Crown? He's got to get it.
Okay, no. What I was saying is –
okay.
Based on production, he's a 99. Maybe not on attributes. Okay. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. Well, we knew. Okay, so like I think Moss fell in the category of based on attributes, he was a 99.
That alone.
Yeah.
You can't even type his attributes in without 99 coming out.
Yeah. And I think Chase is one of those situations where you may not understand from an attribute standpoint what makes him a 99, but production.
Get that guy the ball. I think he's the best receiver in the league. Just get that guy the ball, man, and he's going to show what he can do.
When does the game come out? Because I'm going to buy it this year.
August. Man, I just seen the
It's usually around 11, 13,
yeah, it's usually
like that.
the second week of August is when they drop it, man. So definitely, y'all already know I'll be tuning in. I already got NCAA 26, so I definitely will.
Have you been playing that?
I played it some. I haven't really had that much time to
dive
in on it.
What about you have a PlayStation or Xbox?
I got Xbox only because it's cheaper. I'm a PlayStation guy. Xbox was cheaper, so I ain't spending.
Okay.
I'm past the point
in my life. You can cross-platform now, so it don't matter.
And you can cross-platform, so it don't even matter. I'm past the point in my life where I can spend $600 on a game.
We're going to have to put our gamer tags up there.
Yeah, definitely.
Soon.
I'm going to show y'all where y'all can find me on the gamer tag. Y'all get at me on the NCAA. I ain't found my team yet, who I'm going to run with, but I'm going to find my team on there. Same with Madden once it drop. I'll find my team.
I want to try. Last year, of course, it was Colorado. That was my
Yeah. Yo, definitely.
Hey, defense couldn't stop a nosebleed.
Nah, man. Their offensive line couldn't stop a nosebleed. I
had some tricks for that.
Okay. Yeah, we go out to put our game tags up there.
Hey, put them in motion, let them run the crossing route.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, yeah. I had some tricks for that.
Get the ball out quick, especially Travis. He catching anything on there. So, I got to find my new team on there. Like I said before, folks, want to thank everybody for watching Centex Primetime here today. Like I said before, we want to do something around fantasy football that's coming up. Rock just added me to the league. That's going to be very competitive, what it looks like so far, man. So I'm excited. I'm excited about it. I want to do a show, though, centered around fantasy football so we can tell you the do's and don'ts, who's going to be those sleepers that you find in the draft. That's why I like to do in fantasy. I know the first couple draft picks, everybody knows who that's going to be. I like to find those super sleeper guys that's going to give you a lot of production. I'm a guy that week one, my job in week one is always go and find that guy within the first 2 weeks. I was a guy that jumped out and got Puka Nacua off waivers a couple of years ago. The Isaiah Pacheco's, the guy that nobody knows about. That's what I like to try to delve into. So we'll do a show.
I got Sam Laporta one year.
Who is that? Oh,
Sam Laporta one year.
Oh, yeah.
His rookie year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, you can find those guys, but again, if you guys have we got some slots open. So if y'all think y'all are because we have this is our third year of both our leagues, man, and so I must admit I hadn't won one yet. I guess I won the first year, but anyway, if you think you like that in fantasy football, hey, don't come in here if you're an amateur.
No,
give
wrong,
your money.
If
you just want to give your money to church, give your money somewhere. Give it to church. You know what I mean? But if you, don't put it in this one because we serious about ours, man. But
definitely.
But yeah, if you one of them guys that ain't gonna monitor your league once after you go 0-6, you ain't gonna monitor your league no more. You're gonna throw in the towel, man. We don't need you.
We kicking you out if you auto draft. No auto draft. If we kicking you out, you got 5 receivers because you keep auto drafting.
It's some guys. Some guys auto draft works.
They love the auto draft.
Auto draft works,
and it kicks in for them. But no,
I'll even say this. This is the real thing. I'll take anybody. I'll take the auto draft over anybody.
Okay.
You understand? Because other than myself.
Yeah. I feel like I've done the auto draft before, and it was by mistake. I just didn't know when the draft was, and the whole season I just complained.
But you'll draft some injured players.
Yeah, man.
They
drafted me Christian McCaffrey one year. This man ain't played but 2 games.
Oh man, I had him last year, and that almost undermined my whole. It did really undermine my whole season.
Because you wait to see, like, okay, well, I'll pick him in the second round then because he injured, but I know he's gonna come back with vengeance.
I got players that I will not draft though. Like,
I got plenty of band guys. Guys.
Like I'm not gonna ever draft Chris McCaffrey again, and I'm never gonna draft a guy that. Now I'm gonna tell you, now that Debo is gone, I ain't never got a draft for San Francisco 49er ever again. Debo was a baller for when he was healthy.
He gonna get them rushing yards.
When he was healthy.
Yeah. There's always those certain guys. But yeah, I got a long list of band people on my list. What's your earliest you picking the quarterback? That's always the main fantasy football talk is when do you pick a quarterback? What round do you take? Obviously, no one wants to take one in the first round. I mean, some guys do. Somebody I think in my league.
So my rule is this, right? We do snake draft. So on a snake draft, if you have the last pick in the first round, first pick in the second round, I think one of those got to be a quarterback. Because then what you end up doing is with the last pick in the third round. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you gotta manage that. You gotta manage that.
Yeah. I agree with that. It's got to be somewhere within.
So you're gonna end up with the last pick in the third round or the first pick in the fourth round. How do you want to manage that? Because you could essentially, if people start taking picks because we got 12 to 14 players in our league. If everybody takes a quarterback, you can end up with the 14 to 15 best quarterback. You understand what I'm saying?
That's a long road ahead of you.
Yeah. So I think it's where you draft that.
Yeah,
If you're the fourth guy in the snake draft, you make your way to the third round because you're gonna go 4 in one round. Then then the next round you're gonna go 8 or 9. Then the next round you're gonna be. Then on the third round you're gonna be 4.
Yeah.
You probably can get you these quarterbacks.
That's around where I like to be at. I like to be somewhere in the middle. I don't like to be too late in the draft. I really don't like to get the first pick. I just think it's too much pressure. I like to be somewhere a little bit further around that middle.
I honestly like the 8-9 the last first scenario only because you can pick those. You get your 2 players right back to back. You can pair I've seen where you could get maybe Debo and Purdy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know how you can get Christian McCaffrey. You know how
last
it is.
year, that's around where I was in my draft last year. I think I got Jamar Chase and Derrick Henry. Those were my first 2, and I got all the way to the championship game.
Just think about this, which probably won't be the scenario, but just think about this. I could probably get T. Higgins and Joe Burrow if I got pick 13 or pick 14, which is the last pick, and then the first pick of the second round. I can get T. Higgins, Joe Burrow. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you like getting guys on the same team?
Yeah.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm always leery of picking same team guys because.
Well, you got to also remember if you get 2 guys on the same team, any more than 2 guys on the same team, you in a pickle on their bye week.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you could.
And so you also got to know your bye weeks so that you'll know whatever teams also are on your bye week, you can't take that backup as your quarterback.
Yep.
I've accidentally done that a couple of times, and I'm like, man, these team guys have the same backup. That means I got to carry 3 backups for.
I think last year I got hit. I had 3 or 4 separate teams, just 3 or 4 guys. Certain teams take their bye weeks the same weeks. I had like 4 or 5 guys missing 1 week, man, and got crushed. So, man, it's going to be an interesting fantasy football year. I'm interested to see who the number 1 pick's going to be. I think it might be a guy like Jahmyr Gibbs or somebody like that. It just depends on how, guys like to get out the box when we do number 1 pick. I think the number 1 pick in my draft last year was Christian McCaffrey. And, of course, that guy was at the bottom of the league for picking Christian McCaffrey number 1. So it's always interesting to see guys like to think outside the box. I remember one year somebody took like Dez or something like number 1. Like guys like to be out of the box when they get that number 1 pick. I like to be somewhere within that middle, but we'll see. We're both in the same leagues. This is going to be definitely a super interesting fantasy football league this year. Folks, we're out of time here, though, on Centex Primetime. We're back all week and all football season long, as football season is right around the corner. So that's going to give us plenty to talk about here on Centex Primetime. Like I said, the Rick George interview, athletic director of Colorado, will be coming out either tomorrow or Wednesday. I believe it'll be tomorrow, though, when we'll drop that interview. And we'll have plenty of more interviews, even a couple of that I've withheld from Big 12 Media Day, so we'll have some more to post as we get closer and closer to football season. Make sure you stay tuned for that. As always, subscribe. Centex Sports Network /Centex Sports TV over on YouTube. You can follow my see at the bottom ticker, at Jalen Gillis on Instagram. Rocky, you want to give them your handle for your @?
Yeah. You can hit me on Instagram. It's Rocky Miller 1, and on X, or formerly known as Twitter, it's just Rocky Miller.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, folks, we will see you guys next time here on Centex Primetime. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place, right here at 5 o'clock. See you guys tomorrow. Everybody have a great evening.